Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the Mr. Maple Show. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite Acer species in section Palmata. We're talking about Acer calcaratum.
Guys, we love Japanese maples here on the Mr. Maple Show. Make sure to subscribe. We bring you daily content all about gardening and Japanese maples. And if you really love Japanese maples, check us out on MrMaple.com. We're a family mail order business. We ship directly to your door, and we do the largest selection of Japanese maples in the United States.
All right, today we're actually talking about a Chinese maple that is super rare. It's in section Palmata, so it's grafted onto the same rootstock as most of the common Japanese maples are used to. This one is Acer calcaratum. It's a very rare species, very unique. I absolutely love this. We're standing beside some massive specimens of these. The overall plant has a very shiny, elongated leaf, reminiscent a little bit of something like a blongum, a little bit more divided like a trident, kind of in between the two. I love that glossy sheen it gets to it. Very unique leaf. These are going to work zone 7 through zone 9.
This is a species we fell in love with years ago. And we actually sent Acer calcaratum to Talon Buchholz, and we're here at Buchholz Nursery actually looking at trees that are propagations off of the tree we sent him. I mean, this is such a beautiful species. I love, it's got a unique leaf for a tree in section Palmata. It has a tri-lobed leaf, which makes you think it would be in Acer pinophylla with the trident maples. No, this thing's closer related to Acer palmatum, just as closely related as the japonicums, the circinatums, and the shirasanums that you're so familiar with. These are actually even grafted to Acer palmatum down below. I mean, this is such a cool, rare species. The leaf is really nice, but the colors this thing can put off are outstanding.
Yeah, I actually love this one. It gets a glossy sheen to the older growth, especially in the early spring. It's not uncommon when this thing is leafing out to have yellows and oranges on that new growth. Kind of a blushing of spring color over top of that. It really gives it an ornamental, almost flowering quality to it. I absolutely love that, especially on younger plants. We're actually going to be planting these 3 in the ground to do some seed collecting. It's a very rare one to seed. We had one of the very first cases of ever seeing and documenting seed on this one. Super cool plant. All of our trees actually come from a succession from wild collected plants that are at Westonbirt Arboretum in England. So I had the pleasure of getting to go and see Westonbirt Arboretum with Peter Gregory and Hugh Angus, one of my favorite things I ever got to do. And I remember that Acer calcaratum there in the garden, just an absolute specimen and a really cool tree to be collecting. So if you're into weird maples, this is a species for especially people in some of those hotter zones that's going to be extremely unique and give you some really interesting characteristics. Fall colors typically range from oranges to red. I have had some seasons where they were actually yellow though.
Yeah, I mean, I love that fruit loop of colors you were talking about with the yellows and the oranges on the new growth. I mean, that is awesome. I've also seen some peach colors during that time frame. It is outstanding on that new growth. Fall colors are outstanding as well. I mean, this is a next level species maple that it's super rare in cultivation. You know, you were mentioning all those seeds. I actually see some seeds starting to develop on these very trees we're talking about. So maybe we'll have a new generation of trees to look at that are possibly hybridized with some of the cool trees in this house. And there's some awesome trees in this house with it, so I'm super excited about that too.
It's a really cool plant. We listed as zone 7. I did have one of these out in zone 6, Western North Carolina for many years. We had like a 100-year freeze at one point that did take it out. I wonder if it wouldn't have been for that 100-year freeze if we would consider this one zone 6. So don't be afraid to try this one. We do list it as 7 though, just to be safe. Absolutely a next level plant. That glossy sheen to it too is really unmatched. I mean, it's one of those trees that really has a gloss overall, almost a mirrory look to it in the garden. Really next level. Something that's really fun to pair with this, if you like weird acers, is Hong Long. You saw us talk about Acer laevigatum Hong Long. Really makes a fun pairing with this. A lot of the older calcaratums I've seen still remain very narrow. I can't say that it's always going to be a columnar tree, but even the big ones I saw at Westonbirt still kept a very narrow footprint in the landscape. So maybe this one will stay a little bit more skinny long term.
I love the possibilities we have here though with Acer calcaratum. I mean, you've got just this unique leaf that you don't find on many other trees in section Palmata, at least the ones that people are familiar with. And you've got something that can hybridize possibly with other trees in the section. So, I mean, so many possibilities for the future of this selection. You know, like you mentioned, we had a 15-foot tree for years at my parents' home until we had just a crazy cold snap that, you know, was really unusual. I think this is going to be more hardy than many people believe. The one thing I would say is if you can give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun, a lot of those subtropical selections can actually thrive in those conditions. Typically when you have those conditions too, you're a little more protected from frost. And I think that would help this tree as well.
Push it out early spring too. So in Western North Carolina, we're always conscious of trying to leave things out slowly so they're not there at the very first of spring. So don't over fertilize. Kind of give it some late day shade if you can for its spring protection. An all around amazing plant though. I think this is one that adds a lot of interesting texture to the garden. I mean, if you like trident maples, it's crazy because it's not a trident maple, but it's got that big trident style leaf. Like I said, it's kind of between Lavagatum, oblongum, and trident and that kind of leaf shape. It's a fun one for any Acer collector that loves weird and unique Acer species, especially in hotter zones. If you don't see this currently in stock on MrMaple, it's coming back. We love this plant. You can sign up to get notified under our webpage for Acer calcaratum, or we check out our 10 at 10s. We bring 10 new plants every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m.
I remember years ago whenever we were on the van with Sue Wegriff, and we had 100 and something cultivars, and she was like, what do you think about this species? What do you think about this species? And it opened our minds up to these other things that have amazing ornamental characteristics. So if you're not there yet on the species train, I know you're going to get there at some point. You need to get one of these and get these in your gardens because they're super rare and they're super awesome.
At one point, Tim and I were trying to collect every single thing in section Palmata. We got pretty close. We probably need to get back onto that collecting a little bit more. This one might be my favorite tree that we found when we were doing that. I absolutely love this. I love looking through seeds of other things in section Palmata to find new selections like we did with Hot Blonde, you know, with things like Hot Sauce, with things like Acer pubipalmatum, Flying Daggers. So maybe the future holds some interesting introductions of Acer calcaratum. These are just straight species, but I think it's an absolutely next level and really enjoyable plant in the landscape.
Guys, appreciate you jumping in today. Make sure you're subscribed here on the MrMaple Show. If you like this type of content, share this video with your gardening friends as well, because they'll probably like it too. And remember to always shop with us on MrMaple.com.
Take care.
God bless.
Have yourself a great day.